The American dream wasn't always the shining giant we see today. In fact, for many years, it sat abandoned under the open sky, exposed to rain, dust, rust, and decay. The once glorious body panels had collapsed, the interiors had dissolved into mold, and the engines had frozen into silence. Its frame had bent, its axles had cracked, and its paint had faded into a ghost of its former glory. Most people believed it was impossible to save. But the restoration team, led by Michael Deser, didn't agree. They saw what others couldn't: potential, a future, a miracle waiting to be reborn. The restoration began with the hardest step: dismantling a 100-foot car that was too long to move in one piece. Each section had to be separated, labeled, scanned, documented, and transported carefully. The team worked like surgeons, analyzing every inch of the massive structure. And when the panels were finally opened, the reality hit harder: the metal was corroded almost to dust. They had two options: give up or rebuild everything from scratch. And they chose the second path. The chassis was redesigned using reinforced steel beams capable of supporting extreme weight over an extended distance. New hydraulic supports were installed to prevent bending. The suspension system, something that had never been designed for such a huge vehicle, had to be custom engineered from the ground up. This limousine does not use a normal suspension layout. It uses aircraft-grade engineering blended with automotive technology to keep the ride stable. Next came the heart of the beast. A car this big cannot rely on a single engine. So, the restoration team had to revive multiple power units. Each engine had to be opened, cleaned, rebuilt, pressure tested, and recalibrated. Old parts were replaced with modern equivalents, wiring harnesses were redesigned, and a new cooling system was installed to prevent overheating during extended operation. But the magic didn't stop under the hood. The interior, the soul of the limousine, needed a complete rebirth. The original leather had been destroyed by time. The wooden panels had cracked. The luxury bar had lost its shine. So the team recreated everything from scratch: premium Italian leather seating, handcrafted woodwork, LED mood lighting, glass holders, minibar installation, touch panel controls, and stretched cabin details that made the interior feel like a lounge, a hotel suite, and an entertainment hall all at once. Even the ceiling had to be redesigned. The older roof structure could not withstand the length of the vehicle, so new lightweight materials were used, and reinforcement beams were hidden inside the walls. The lighting system was rebuilt with energy-efficient LEDs that blended seamlessly with the interior's modern aesthetic. One of the most challenging tasks was the jacuzzi section on top of the limousine. Yes, this car actually has a jacuzzi. The old tub was cracked and unusable. The team replaced it, strengthened the platform underneath, waterproofed the entire section, and installed drainage that wouldn't interfere with the vehicle's structure. The helipad section also needed complete reinforcement to ensure stability, even though it's not used for actual aviation today. Maintenance for a car like this is unlike any normal vehicle. It requires regular structural inspection. It demands synchronized engine care. Its tires, dozens of them, must be rotated and replaced in sets to prevent uneven load distribution. Every long drive is planned with engineering precision. And yet, despite its size, this limousine moves with surprising smoothness thanks to the careful balancing work carried out during restoration. Driving the American dream is an experience that blurs the line between automotive engineering and architectural design. The steering response is calculated, the cabin remains quiet, and the ride feels like floating on a massive platform built for comfort. The limo doesn't simply move forward, it glides. Today, after years of effort, millions of dollars, and countless hours of craftsmanship, the American dream stands restored in its full glory. It's a symbol of what humans can achieve when they refuse to give up. A symbol of passion, engineering, and dedication. A vehicle that started as a world record, died as scrap, and returned as legend. And that is why reviewing this limousine is not just reviewing a car. It is telling the story of engineering rebirth. A story of the world's longest machine, maintained and rebuilt with love, precision, and absolute respect. As we continue exploring the rebirth of the American dream, one thing becomes clear. This limousine is not just a restored machine, it is a living archive of craftsmanship. Every inch of its colossal body reflects the patience and discipline of the team that brought it back to life. When they first examined the structure, they realized that restoring a normal car is like repairing a boat. but restoring a 100-foot limousine is like rebuilding a ship. The weight distribution, the load-bearing points, the frame stability, everything had to be recalculated from zero. One of the earliest breakthroughs came when the engineering team decided to use architectural-grade steel bracing along the lower frame. The car originally sagged in the middle due to its enormous length, a problem that caused the internal panels to separate and the doors to misalign. To solve this, they created a lattice reinforcement system underneath the limousine, enabling it to maintain its rigidity even under extreme conditions. This structural backbone became the foundation upon which the rest of the restoration depended. Once the frame was strengthened, the team turned their attention to the electric systems. Imagine wiring a vehicle that is longer than a swimming pool. The original cables were brittle, oxidized, and unsafe. So the team mapped out an entirely new wiring blueprint, a layout that connected multiple entertainment units, lighting zones, intercom systems, the partition controls, bar illumination, sound system, and engine monitoring units. Because the limo uses multiple engines, the electrical system needed separate and synchronized monitoring circuits for each power source. This required high-level precision and safety. Inside the cabin, the restoration process became almost artistic. The team wanted to preserve the classic limousine identity but also elevate it with modern luxury. They chose high-density memory foam for the seat cushioning, premium sound-absorbing carpet fabric to reduce interior noise, and sophisticated wood veneers polished to a mirror shine. Each panel was sanded, varnished, and sealed by hand. Even the cup holders and minibar frame were redesigned with modern ergonomics while staying true to the original theme. The ceiling was perhaps the most visually striking transformation. The restoration team installed fiber optic star lighting, soft LED halos, and integrated temperature control vents that blended seamlessly into the upholstery. The combination gave the cabin a warm, inviting glow, not too bright, not too dim, just perfect for the limousine's iconic luxurious ambiance. Next came the entertainment zone. Today's limousine enthusiasts expect full multimedia capability, even in a classic vehicle. So the team added smart screen control modules, ambient lighting switches, a refined audio amplifier system, and Bluetooth control. But the engineers had to hide all modern components in a way that didn't interfere with the classic look. This balance, blending modern technology with vintage charm, is what makes the restored American dream exceptional. Maintenance for the interior became a science in itself. The leather must be conditioned regularly to prevent dryness. The wood panels need polishing to maintain their shine. The lighting modules require periodic calibration. And because the limo's interior volume is massive, temperature distribution is maintained through specially positioned air vents that keep the entire cabin uniformly cool. But the restoration team didn't forget the exterior. The limousine's body panels, once damaged from years of neglect, were reworked using a combination of patching, welding, and metal shaping. Dozens of panels needed complete replacement. The sanding process alone took weeks, ensuring that the surface was perfectly uniform before the paint job. And the paint wasn't ordinary. The team chose a high-grade automotive finish that could withstand sun exposure, weather changes, and long-term durability. The mirror-like shine you see today is a result of meticulous layering, polishing, and sealing. Another major challenge was the alignment of the dozens of wheels. Because the vehicle is so long, any misalignment in one section could trigger chain reactions of instability. Engineers used laser alignment systems to ensure each axle was perfectly positioned. Tire rotation schedules were set with aviation-style precision, and each wheel was fitted with high-strength bolts to support continuous stress. Finally, safety systems were upgraded. Fire barriers were added near engine compartments. Reinforced panels were placed under fuel lines. Emergency cutoff switches were installed, allowing quick shutdown of electrical systems in case of malfunction. These safety features weren't part of the original design but were necessary to meet modern restoration standards. Today, when you step into the American dream, you are not just stepping inside a car, you are stepping into a masterpiece brought back from the edge of extinction. The ride feels smoother, the interior feels richer, and the engineering feels smarter. It is a fusion of past glory and present innovation. Driving beside this limousine feels like witnessing a moving landmark. People stop, stare, smile, and pull out their phones. It is not the type of vehicle that blends into traffic. It dominates the road, it commands attention, and it carries the aura of a celebrity. Cars like these are not built. They are sculpted, cherished, and maintained with devotion. And yet, despite all its massive engineering, the American dream still carries a heartwarming soul. It reminds us that no matter how damaged something becomes, with the right hands, right effort, and right vision, anything can rise again, better than ever.